Every single day when you open your eyes, the world doesn't pause. It doesn't gently knock and ask, "Are you ready?" It doesn't wait for you to feel confident, energized, or strong. No, it starts immediately. The noise begins. Opinions flood in. Deadlines loom. People show up late. Some let you down. Emotions stir and try to pull you in a dozen directions you never asked for. That's the battlefield you wake up to. So no, you don't wait for peace. You create it. Before you check your phone, before the noise creeps into your mind, there are 5 simple but powerful things you need to remind yourself every single day. Not to hype yourself up, not to chase motivation, but to stay anchored, to stay unshakable in a world that never stops shaking. Your inner voice has to be trained before the world has a chance to shape it. If not, you'll be reacting to everything instead of responding with intention. You need a foundation stronger than emotions, one that isn't swayed by every bad mood or setback. And that's what Stoicism is really about. See, strength doesn't come from getting what you want. It comes from how you act when you don't. And the first thing to remind yourself is this: no one owes me anything. At first, that might sound harsh, maybe even cold, but sit with it for a moment. This truth is one of the most liberating things you'll ever accept. You are not owed respect. You are not owed kindness. You are not owed understanding. People don't have to behave the way you wish they would. And while that realization can sting, it's not a reason to grow bitter, it's a reason to be free. Because the second you stop expecting the world to cater to your hopes, you stop handing over your peace to other people's behavior. You walk into life without needing approval. You're no longer surprised when people fall short, because now you know they were never required to meet your expectations in the first place. So instead of being reactive, you become steady. You're not shaken by every disappointment. You're not thrown off by someone else's inconsistency. You move through the world with calm control because now you understand how the game works. And once that sinks in, you're ready for the second truth. It's just as important. I don't control others. I only control myself. Sometimes the other person simply isn't listening, not because you're wrong, not because your words don't carry truth, but because they've already made up their mind not to hear you. Still, you try. You try to prove your worth to people who have no intention of seeing it. And that right there is where burnout begins. That's how you stay stuck in emotional loops, running in circles, going nowhere. But everything changes the moment you realize this simple truth. Your power ends at the edge of your own behavior. You stop trying to change them. You stop trying to force a shift in their mindset. Instead, you shift your own. You focus not on making others act right, but on carrying yourself with clarity, discipline, and strength. You stop chasing their respect and start giving it to yourself through the way you speak, the way you walk, and the way you carry your presence. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop controlling. And in that space, in that letting go, you find peace. Then comes the third thing you must remind yourself every single day. Emotions are not instructions. You're going to feel things. That's part of being human. Some mornings, you'll wake up tired, even if you've had enough sleep. Some days, you'll feel irritated for no clear reason. Anxiety, anger, uncertainty, they'll all visit you at one point or another. And all of that is perfectly normal. What isn't normal, what becomes destructive, is believing that every feeling demands a response. Stoicism doesn't teach you to bury your emotions or pretend they don't exist. It teaches you to manage them, to create space between what you feel and how you respond. It teaches you to let the wave rise and let it pass without letting it crash you into chaos. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said it best: if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. That one insight holds so much power. It means you can feel anger without lashing out. You can feel sadness without sinking into despair. You can feel the urge to react and still choose silence. That's control. That's strength. Power isn't about yelling louder. It's about knowing you could and choosing not to. Most people are prisoners of their emotions, dragged around by every passing feeling. But you don't have to live like that. You don't have to chase every thought. You don't have to respond to every insult. All you really need is the discipline to pause, to breathe, to think and choose wisely. And that brings us to the next truth. Not everything deserves your energy. when you give your energy to every petty thing. Don't be surprised when it drains you. That's exactly how it happens. You start imagining offense where none was ever intended. You start seeing disrespect in places where silence would have brought peace. Sometimes, staying silent isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the discipline to walk away from noise that doesn't serve you. It's the quiet decision to protect your peace instead of proving your point. Your emotional energy is not unlimited. Every time you engage with nonsense, you spend a piece of that currency. And truthfully, not everything deserves a reaction. It's not your job to correct every misunderstanding. It's not your duty to fight every opinion, challenge every slight, or prove your worth to people who aren't even listening. Your real responsibility is much simpler but far more important. Protect your focus, guard your mind, preserve your time. Some people don't want resolution, they want your reaction. Don't give it to them. Stay unavailable to chaos. Let the drama knock. Just don't open the door. And finally, we reach one of the most important truths you can carry. I am responsible for my attitude. Not the weather, not the traffic, not the rude person who cut you off, or the bad news flashing across your screen. No external event controls your internal tone unless you hand that control over. It's so easy to blame the day, to say, I'm just in a bad mood because. But here's the truth. Attitude is not a mood, it's a decision. It's not random, it's not passive, it's a muscle. And like any muscle, it can be trained. This isn't about fake positivity or pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about owning the tone you bring into every room. When things go sideways, you don't spiral, you stay centered. When the day is rough, you don't collapse, you stay composed. That's the difference between the reactive and the resilient. You don't wait for the world to be calm before you become calm. You don't wait for the conditions to be perfect before you bring your best. You show up anyway with discipline, with intention, with quiet strength. These 5 reminders aren't just motivational quotes to post online. They're anchors. And when you build your mindset around them, something incredible happens. You become rare, a calm, grounded, focused human being. In a time when most people are pulled in every direction by noise, drama, and distraction, that's what Stoicism really is. It's not about detaching from life. It's about engaging with life but from a stronger position. It's about presence, not passivity. Strength, not aggression. Focus, not control. You don't need to shout to be powerful. You don't need to fight to prove you're strong. You just need to show up every single day with a mindset that holds steady when the world doesn't. So remind yourself each morning quietly, confidently, and without apology. No one owes me anything. I only control myself. My emotions don't define me. My energy is sacred. My attitude is my responsibility. Repeat that until it's no longer something you tell yourself but something you are. And when it becomes part of you, the world won't know how to shake you, because you'll be standing on something unshakable, self-command. That's where your power lives, and that's how you protect it every single day.